Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report. I am Mike Babicz, your host, and the voice this coming weekend of the wingless sprint cars and the lightning sprints at Wilmot Raceway. And then next Tuesday, I'll be there for the fireworks and carload night. And we will be back there once again with the Autometer powered by Gandrud Performance Wisconsin wingless sprint cars, part of a big program next Tuesday night there at Wilmot Raceway. I want to thank all of our partners that bring us to the show each and every week. Of course, Great American Tire, Bumper to Bumper that helps us out, their regional office, Steve Sinclair and the Interstate Racing Association. This weekend, the IRA is going to be over in Bloomington, Indiana tomorrow night, Friday night. And then on Saturday night, they will be in Butler, Michigan with the Bumper to Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars in action 2 nights this coming weekend. Also, Great Lakes Dragaway. We're going to have John on shortly because they've got a big show this coming weekend and also a huge event coming up 4th of July weekend. Of course, Scott Carpenter and B&L Office Furniture. Looking forward to seeing Scott compete in his street stock, number 47 at Wilmot Raceway. Force One Performance, the Irwin family, Whitmore's Towing and Recovery. Also, People Architectural Group, Sarah Missiel, where we don't build buildings, we build people. Also, Fox Lake Harbor, Hunt Club of Richmond, and we are working out a date in September to go on the road to the Hunt Club of Richmond. MLS Auto Clinic, Eddie and Debbie Boyd. They're going to have a big happening this coming Tuesday at Wilmot Raceway when kind of officially the Honor Flight starter stand is going to be dedicated, and also representatives of both the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight as well as Lake County Honor Flight are going to be on hand with information to tell people how they can become involved and how they can get a veteran to take a free trip to Washington, D.C. as part of the Honor Flights. One going out of, they both go out of Mitchell Airport. The Stars and Stripes is a 1-day event, while the Lake County Honor Flight is 3 days. So more information will be available at Wilmot Raceway on Tuesday regarding those honor flights. Also, Bodycraft, who now provides the pace vehicles for both the Wilmot Raceway and for the Interstate Racing Association. Goodwood Performance, Lake County Hose and Equipment. Bill Fusting, I think, is going to be competing this weekend at Great Lakes Dragaway. We'll find out a little bit more from John regarding that. Hartnell Chevrolet. We had a lot of fun at Hartnell Chevrolet with Cars and Custard this last Saturday. And we want to congratulate John Trishan, who won the tickets as well as the Kurt Busch autographed diecast. That was courtesy of A-Main Apparel and Diecast, and the tickets courtesy of Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse. The tickets for the NASCAR weekend coming up, not this weekend, 4th of July weekend, down at Chicago. So looking forward to, Kathy and I are going to be heading down there ourselves, and we're looking forward to seeing John and his wife down there as well. Also want to thank Impressions Count that also helps us out. Weeby Waxon. Jack's Helmets. We're going to get Jack on real soon. He's got just some unbelievably detailed helmets that he does for a lot of different race car drivers. As I mentioned, A-Main Apparel and Diecast. Cabins on the Lake in Friendship, Wisconsin. You need to get away from all this heat. Well, think about going to Cabins on the Lake up there in Friendship, and you can get in touch with Patty and Eddie up there, and they'll help you out. Kaylee Burns takes care of Grandpa's hairdo and Grandma too. Midwest Motor Coach and Olson Transportation, they're involved with the Honor Flight as well. They provide the transportation for the Lake County Honor Flight from Foss Park up to Mitchell Airport and on the return trip as well. And speaking of the Lake County Honor Flight, coming up on July 20th is their first annual John Davis Jr. Memorial Golf Outing to benefit the Lake County Honor Flight at Foss Park. If you want to know more information, go to the Lake County Honor Flight's website, or you can see me, and I can give you more information on it as well. Also, the Green Oaks, Libertyville, Mundelein, Vernon Hills golf outing is coming up on July 17th. A lot of golf outings going on. And this past Monday, the Northern Illinois Council on Alcoholism and Substance Abuse golf outing was held at Glen Flora. Despite the heat, we had a lot of fun. I want to thank all the volunteers, including my lovely wife, Kathy, that helped out. It was just a lot of fun on Monday, raising funds for a great, great cause. So, again, thanks to everybody that came out and supported that. Also, Nielsen Enterprises of Lake Villa, John Hatterline, attorney at law, 5-Star Race Car Bodies. They just recently opened their new location in North Carolina, along with, of course, their main store, their home in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. If you'd like to get a position in the world of motorsports, contact Carl or Corey Schultz. They can help you out. And also Daniel Sanchez, who does their marketing. And Racing Roundup is going to be coming to Wilmot Raceway this coming Tuesday night. They'll be broadcasting live from 4:30 to 6 at Wilmot Raceway, part of the Carload and Fireworks Night that will be taking place at Wilmot Raceway this coming week. And also a new supporter of the Let's Go Racing Motorsports Report, our good friends from Pink Roofing in McHenry. If you've got problems with your roof, you need a new roof, reach out to Pink Roofing. They will help you out and do the very best they can. Before we get too much into the show, I do want to send out my condolences. A friend of mine, Lee Schwartz, who is very much involved with the William Schwartz and Company insurance company in Libertyville, Illinois, passed away yesterday. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Lee's family. Just a great guy, did a lot to support the community and talk about golf. He loved the golf, and he also loved fast cars. And yes, he has been known to come to various racing events, both at Wilmot and at Great Lakes Dragway. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Lee's family on his passing. Let's see now what we've got. We've got some race results we want to give you before we get John on with us. This last weekend at Angel Park Speedway in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin on Sunday night, it was the Double Ks in recognition for both Kevin Doty and Kevin Olson, the Double Ks Classic, and scoring the feature win in the Autometer powered by Gandrud Performance Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Car feature was some guy named Eric Wilkie. Now, Eric Wilkie scored his second career win at Angel Park and his third feature win overall in the Wisconsin Wingless Sprints. Did a great job holding off Adam Taylor for the finish toward the end as they worked through some lack traffic. So congratulations goes out to Eric Wilkie. He's going to be running with the MSA 360s this coming Saturday at Plymouth. But then next Tuesday, he plans on being back in the wingless car at Wilmot. So looking forward to seeing Eric there. And finishing the second spot, as I mentioned, was Adam Taylor. Third was Zach Rader out of Gurnee. Fourth was Tyler Cuxhouse from Antioch. And fifth was Alan Taters Hafford out of Beach Park. The Hard Charger, the Baleen Race Equipment Hard Charger Award, went out to the Vanderveer Racing number 10V of Nathan Crane. Also the Pink Roofing and MLS number 10V. And he went from 16th place to 9th, improving 7 positions. So a tip of the hat to him. The legend feature went to Hayden Schimmel out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. And the guy's so far he's unbeaten this year at Angel Park. Parker Jones out of Blue Mounds, Wisconsin. This coming Sunday, somebody's going to see if they can snap that win streak. He's won all 3 features that have been held at Angel Park this year for the Badger Midgets. And they'll have their fireworks night this coming Sunday along with the Pro Legends up there at Angel Park. So looking for something to do Sunday, think about going to Angel Park. They do, I can guarantee it, do put on a lot of great racing and also a fantastic fireworks show. In the heat races, the Fox Lake Harbor Presents All-Star Performance. Heat race number 1 at Angel Park was won by Adam Taylor. Game Day Men's Health Presents Baling Race Equipment. Heat number 2 was won by his teammate, Miles Doherty, out of Delmar, Iowa. And the BR Motorsports Presents King Race Products. Heat race number 3 was won by Tyler Cuxhouse. And speaking of Game Day's Men's Health, they are also one of our supporters here on the program. Currently have a location in Vernon Hills and are getting ready to open one in Kenosha. Keep an eye out for that. All right, on Saturday night, it was Wilmot was heated out. It was just too hot to safely have racing at Wilmot Raceway on Saturday night, so the races were canceled due to the heat warnings that were in effect. And so I took a trip up north along with wife Kathy and also Mark Maglio in the Black Knight, the newly decorated Black Knight IRA Pace truck from Bodycraft. And scoring the feature win on Saturday night was Adam Taylor. It was his 3rd feature win in a row for the Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin wingless sprint cars. He also picked up the Hard Charger Award as he improved 5 positions, taking that Baling Racing Equipment honor. Finishing in 2nd was his teammate, that's right, the number 8D, Miles Doherty. And 3rd spot, right at the checkered flag, was Tyler Cuxhouse. 4th spot went to the 4G of George Gaitner, the 3rd. And 5th was a guy named Tim Cox. I think we've had him on this program before as well. Scoring heat race wins were George Gaitner, the 3rd, also Tyler Cuxhouse and Miles Doherty. And setting the Bodycraft fast time on Saturday night, it was Bryce Andrews of Kenosha with a 14.8 clocking. And moving now to the 360 sprints, it was Kevin Karnitz out of West Bend, Wisconsin, winning that feature event. And in the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Cars, it was Kelby Watt out of Adel, Iowa, winning his first career IRA feature. He put a great show on and really kind of dominated the field on Saturday night at Plymouth. So Plymouth will be racing, as I mentioned, this Saturday night, as will Wilmot. Wilmot going to be racing this Saturday night with the wingless, the Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin wingless sprints, the 1175 Sports Complex and Eatery IRA Lightning sprints, also the Wing 604 sprint cars, and the street stocks. Those 4 divisions in action this Saturday at Wilmot. And Tuesday night, it's carload and fireworks night. The Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin wingless sprints will be back once again. The Wing 604s, IMCA modifieds, and the Bandit 4-cylinder stock cars. All of that on Tuesday night, July the 1st at the Wilmot Raceway. So now we are going to bring in John, our first guest. And John is joining us with our weekly update on Great Lakes Dragaway. And also with the Bruce City Gassers. And the Bruce City Gassers are very busy this week as they're getting ready for the Out of Sight Drags. John, welcome to the program and tell folks about what's going to be happening starting tomorrow.
Well, we got our Out of Sight Drags that are going on. And I probably sweat about 5 gallons out today, parking everybody from, we've got people that came from 3 guys from California, made a 2,300 mile ride to be here. And we got another guy from the East Coast and another guy from Colorado, some from Nebraska. So we're going to have just about 200 cars that are, in the house, and they're all 1966 and older vintage stuff. We also have front engine dragsters, altereds. We've got a couple nitro dragsters that are going to be matching up against each other, along with the original Shake, Rattle, and Run car against the Peppermint Twist, which we brought Dick Messino in because that car, it's been raced from the late 50s and it's got some history. So going much faster now and a little bit more modern, but most of our stuff is kind of the older school wheels and that, just modern safety equipment. And I've been busy all day parking people, so the place is filling up pretty good here.
Well, I happened to be up that direction earlier. I actually went to a no next of kin funeral up at the cemetery there in Union Grove. And when I was coming back, I did see two race car trailers heading north on 45. When I went by 45 and KR there, it looks like some of it is paved. Is it in a little bit better shape now, getting out there to the dragway?
Oh yeah, it's paved. I think they got both layers of asphalt on it, and they put gravel along the shoulder, so they must be done paving from 45 all the way to Highway D, which is east of the track there. It's nice and smooth. They don't have any lines painted on it yet, but it's nice and smooth getting in there, and it really needed it because that KR was like the surface of the moon before that. It was a little bit rough.
Well, it sounds like you got some racing going on in the background as we speak.
Absolutely.
Great Lakes Dragway open tonight. What's going on tonight, and how long can folks come out and see some racing tonight?
Tonight is Sticky Thursday, so the track is prepped for slicks or drag radials only, and we got test and tune going on till 10 o'clock tonight. A lot of guys that are racing with us this weekend are doing some testing tonight, and it's pretty much a full house out here with the pits are getting pretty full between the test and tune racers and the racers for this weekend. So, the track is prepped really well, and it should be a good night if somebody wants to come out and see some of the cars. We also this weekend have a car show going on for any spectators that have a 1976 or older car. They can just pay general spectator admission, which is $25, and then park along the fence and watch the racing and also get in and see the cars in the pits and do whatever they want to do, but keep their car in the car show. And then a little swap meet we have going on also with that.
Well, and I mentioned his name earlier, and we've had those before. Is he going to be running with you guys this weekend?
I missed that. There was a loud car in the background.
I just heard that. Is Billy Fusting from Lake County Hose?
Yes, he is. I was just talking to Bill. He's parked over on the cement apron over there. He's got his Illinois Outlaw little Fiat there. He's going to be racing with us this weekend. And we're going to do a couple shootout races. We're going to do qualifying on Friday for 16. What we're going to do is we're going to let the cars qualify and the fast dragsters, fast cars. One qualifying round on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then we're going to pick the 16 cars with the closest ET. We're going to do an index race, heads up 8th mile for $2,000, and then the same with the dragsters and the altered. So we're going to have a couple shootout races going on this weekend also, something new this year.
There you go. Well, what's the time frame tomorrow? We mentioned tonight you'll probably have some things going on till about 10 o'clock. What time do things get going tomorrow and throughout the weekend? And then we also want to touch on, even though we'll talk about it more next week on Thursday night for our regular show, on what's going to happen on 4th of July weekend there at Great Lakes Dragway.
You bet. So this tomorrow the gates will open about 10 o'clock. Racing will start at about 11 and 11:30 or so, and the track will be hot, and it'll be going all day till dark. Saturday morning, it's kind of cool. It's Saturday at 10 o'clock. The guys that want to, we've talked to the city of Racine and Union Grove, and they're going to block the roads off there. So they're going to do a rumble run. So the guys who want to take their gas or cars are going to drive from Great Lakes Dragway at 10 o'clock on Saturday, drive through downtown Union Grove and come back to the track. And we'll be racing also starting at about 10:30. Going to do that, and then we're going to do the elimination races and some of the other nitro cars during the day Saturday. And then Saturday, when the racing's over, at around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, we're going to have Second Chance, the band. Our Bruce City Gasser president, Mark Davis, that was on. He's the lead vocalist, and then be a band after the racing is done. And then, like you said, on next week on Saturday, July 5th, will be our Night of Fire race. That'll be a lot of jet cars, all the jet cars that you normally run. And then we're going to Fridays, we're going to be closed for 4th of July, but people that are going to be racers are going to be open for the racers to come in and get their pit spots. And then Saturday should be a pretty good night. We'll be racing that event also on Saturday. So.
Well, also one thing, and we just got this finalized literally earlier this afternoon. On Monday, July 7th, we're going to have another Cars and Custard from 5 to 7 o'clock at the Culvers in Paddock Lake. So, John, I know I think you came down to last year when we had it, and we're doing it again. We're going to do it on Monday night, July the 7th.
Okay.
I know that's usually a dark night at Great Lakes Dragway. There's usually no racing, so hopefully yourself and a lot of the other racers can come and join us and have some custard. And I guarantee it's got to be cooler than it was last Saturday when we were at Hartnell Chevrolet. It was awfully hot, and Cheryl McCrary did a great job singing and out there in the sun, and it was. I give a lot of credit. We ended up with about 20 cars there. Show cars, some race cars, and we had a good time. We spent a lot of it in the showroom that was air conditioned.
Sure.
But there was plenty of custard. There was plenty of custard.
That's good.
The taco truck that was there had some really good eats too. So again, that's Monday, July the 7th. I'll definitely get you some information. We hope to have flyers together, and I'm going to really try to get down to Great Lakes Dragway tomorrow to see you guys for a little while. So. Yeah,
and remind me next Thursday, then I'll remember about on the 7th, right? Yeah.
Okay. I know. When we get older, we tend to forget things, right?
Yeah.
That kind of happens a little bit. So.
Sure.
All righty. Well, again, I know you're busy up there. You're getting things together, getting everything organized. At least you got to get out of the heat a little bit because Mother Nature threw us a curve. I didn't know it was supposed to be this hot today. I thought it was supposed to have cooled down, but I don't think it's cooled down quite yet.
We got a little breeze off the lake, which is helping us a little bit. We're getting a little east wind, so that's helping a little bit.
There you go. Well, John, again, thank you very much for the update. Look forward to seeing you for a little while tomorrow. And again, the Bruce City Gassers this weekend, out of sight drags, car show. They're going to drive through town. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, get over there to Great Lakes Dragway, see what's all going on.
Yep.
Thanks, John. All right. Again, that was John with our weekly update from Great Lakes Dragway. We're now going to bring in a second-generation driver, Rusty Egan, who drives now an Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance, Wisconsin wingless sprint car, and got to see him race twice this last weekend, and he'll be racing, of course, Saturday night at Wilmot Raceway, and also on on Tuesday. Saturday and Tuesday. Got to get my days right. Saturday and Tuesday, he'll be racing this coming week. Rusty, welcome to the program.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Now, I guess we can start off with your better part of the weekend. Last Saturday up at Plymouth, you seemed to have a pretty good run in the feature event and throughout the evening. Sunday, well, things happen. Things happen racing. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, everybody just kind of stacked up there with nowhere to go. So,
yeah. So, well, let's start off with Saturday. Tell the folks a little bit about your run Saturday up at Plymouth.
So, I believe we qualified second quick on Saturday. We were fourth in the heat race. I think we started ninth in the feature and ended up eighth. We were up in the top five, I think, roughly around there. And then just kind of fell back towards the end a little bit. But all in all, it was a decent night. Survived the heat and loaded it back up in the box. So
that's always an important thing, right?
Always.
And then Sunday night, like you said, I mean, things happen. I didn't even see everything that happened. All I know is we ended up going red. You usually don't go red unless somebody gets upside down. I did see some replays later that somebody kind of got sideways, but didn't really get completely upside down over there. But it's just all of a sudden the track was pretty much blocked in turn number 2 with about 4 or 5 cars stacked up.
Yeah, Sunday started off pretty good. We qualified second quick, went fourth to second in the heat race. And then in the feature, I believe it was the second lap, a couple of guys just got in trouble up in front and the bouncing through the ruts a little bit and kind of checked everybody up. And there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 of us that ended up with nowhere to go, and we kind of piled onto each other. We ended up with a little bit of damage. My crew was able to get it fixed. I think we restarted 16th and we were able to get back up to 8th by the end. But all in all, it could have been much worse. So I think everybody pretty much got away from that one without too much damage.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And the fans got a little bit of a treat. They got to see your dad bring bring all the equipment that you needed out there to change the tire out in the infield.
Yeah, we weren't really prepared to do much. Didn't really expect something like that to happen, and obviously it did. Because of the situation that there was, he had time to run back to the trailer and get parts. So luckily for me, I guess a couple of guys were stacked up. Otherwise, we probably would have been done on the second lap.
Yeah, like you say, it did take just a little bit of time to get cars separated over there and get back ready to go. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, people see racing on television. Road America had the Indy cars there last weekend, and you see pit crews, doing pit stops, and sometimes they do them in 6 seconds, 8 seconds.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing what they do. But for the people that race like you do, the blue collar racers, as Steve Sinclair likes to call the ones that race with the IRA and that, it's a totally different world. You guys don't tend to have the power tools that you see them using on television, and you don't also usually have the pit crews that train to be pit crew members. That's all they do. That's their job.
Yeah. The guys who helped me out, which is my dad, my daughter, Chris, and Tom. Tom wasn't there on Sunday, unfortunately, but they're volunteers, and really the pit crews with as you guys call it, the blue collar guys are really the unsung heroes, I think, of everything. They do a lot more work than they get credit for. They deal with the heat. They dedicate their time to everything. Wouldn't be able to do it without them for sure.
That's for sure. And I know this year you've been able to pick up some new marketing partners that have joined you this year. Let's talk a little bit about them and go ahead and this is your time to give them a plug.
I'd like to thank first off Comfort Awnings. Everybody should have an awning right now. It's so hot outside. Everybody could benefit from them. Shepherd Premier Senior Living, Don's Machine Shop, FX Window Tinting, Bumper to Bumper of Burlington, Bassett Wheels, Hooked on 58, which is my daughter's crochet business. Beaver Dog does our graphics, and then Schaefer's Oil helps us out as well.
And and actually, you and I may need to talk offline because we had some damage to our awning, and we're going to need to replace our awning. So, might take you up on talking to the folks at Comfort Awnings and seeing what we can work out.
Absolutely.
So, I know we've talked about this before, and I love to bring it up on the mic when you're racing. You've got a very unique history in racing. Tell the folks a little bit about how Rusty Egan got going in racing and where you are today.
So I was actually born into it. My dad started racing about a year or so before I was born. Then when I was, I believe, like 10, 11 years old, you helped me get in a position. I was able to sell checkered flags, programs, papers, stuff like that at Wilmot. And that helped. I put all that money towards my go-karting that I did at the time to help get me started. Then when I was like 15, I started in a 410 sprint car. We did that for quite a while. And then we did some 360 stuff, and then now we're doing the wingless stuff.
What have you liked the most about the different types of racing that you've done, or are you not done trying to get into something different?
I would say probably the wingless stuff is probably the most fun for me, just because it's not as much budget dependent. I run a really tight budget with my car. It was always kind of a struggle for us with the wing stuff. The speeds are a lot more fun. I'm probably done trying stuff though. My son's going to be moving up here in another year or so. So I think the days are limited for me. But
what about other, you got your start, like you said, you were kind of born into it. What about your kids? Are any of them interested in getting into the kind of racing like you're into now?
Yes. So my daughter, she's been racing go-karts now. This is her second year. I don't know if she's going to continue or not after this year, but this is my son's 4th or 5th year. He's a 2-time defending champion in outlaw karts. And his plan is to move up to the sprint cars in a couple of years, unless I can get him in sooner.
Well, and we kind of had that happen with, Colin Sivia this year has moved into the 1175 Sports Complex and Eatery Lightning Sprints. Mm-hmm. And he came out of karts and actually did quite well in karts. And Colin was kind of unique. He pitted for everybody.
Oh yeah.
He works on just about anybody's car. Sometimes I don't think he's by his dad's car or was by his dad's car hardly at all.
Unfortunately for me, but I guess in a good way. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I would get back to the trailer after something happened on the track and he was the first one there, or down in the work area. And like my son, he raced with Colin quite a bit. Him and Mackenzie Mall, Jacob Irwin raced a little bit with him, like their first year. And then we raced with Tucker too. So
yeah, a lot of names, a lot of people that have gone on now, and we got them racing in other divisions. We got them in the Lightning Sprints. The Lightning Sprints have almost seemed to have become a stepping stone. I mean, we've still got a few of the old timers, and we're going to have one of them on here in a little bit when I get the Branham family on here. But we do have a lot of young drivers in the Lightning Sprints right now.
Yeah, there's quite a bit. It's good to see. Whether it's a stepping stone or they stay there and just keep doing that, that's a possibility for them too. We're kind of flipping coins what to do with Blake next year, if we're going to do a Lightning Sprint or go to like a bigger outlaw kart. I'm not really sure what we're going to do yet, but the Lightning Sprints are definitely a good stepping stone, I think.
Now, I mentioned, you were at Plymouth on Saturday. You were at Angel Park on Sunday. You'll be back at Wilmot, the original home track for the wingless cars, when they were founded 11 years ago. And then on Tuesday, you're back at Wilmot again, kind of a double up at Wilmot. What track is your favorite track? And I'll give you that question first. And then what track do you see as your most challenging track as a driver?
I would say my favorite track is probably Angel Park. Usually it's pretty good racing up there. And just for whatever reason, I like it. When we ran a wing car there once, and I absolutely hated the place. So it's a complete 180 for me now. But and as far as my most challenging track, I don't know. Probably Wilmot for me. Honestly, it's either feast or famine for me there.
Well, you did have a little bit of success there in the past few years at Wilmot, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We can get it right sometimes. So.
There you go. Well, and actually, I was just glancing down here at the Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin Wingless Sprint schedule. You're at Wilmot Saturday, the 28th. You're at Wilmot Tuesday, July 1st. Then you're at Wilmot for a doubleheader with the World of Outlaws, the World of Outlaws sprint cars for the Larry Hillerud Classic. You're the support class for both a Friday and a Saturday that weekend. Then you got a couple weeks off, unless I missed something in the schedule. And July 26th, you're back at Plymouth. And then in August 2nd, and then I believe it's August 16th, Fair Night, you're back at Wilmot.
Yeah. I think there might be a LaSalle race in there somewhere, maybe.
Oh, I think you're right. I think I missed that one. Yeah, I think there is a LaSalle one in there someplace.
Yeah, I'm kind of week to week here with the schedule between all the go-karting and work and the wingless stuff. Sometimes I don't know where I'm going yet till Monday or Tuesday, but
well, when you talk about all of that, what does Rusty Egan do for a living, for his day job?
I'm a maintenance coordinator at Southwire.
Okay, and what does a maintenance coordinator do?
Just plan like all the PMs and stuff on the equipment, and make sure that we have parts in stock and order whatever is needed.
Does any of that help you to be able to do things when you are driving your race car?
No, probably not. Not really.
Okay. What advice would you have for somebody who wants to get going in racing?
It's a lot to learn. There's a lot of people who are more than willing to help out. And you just gotta take your lumps and learn as you go. It's a tough road. I've been doing it a long time. It takes a long time to really find like your rhythm in it. You just got to kind of stick it out. It's a great sport, though. It's very family oriented, which I really enjoy. I just plan to be in it for the long haul and stick it out.
There you go. Well, we're going to let you go. We appreciate you taking the time. I've got the Branham family coming in. Talk about family. They're all going to be joining us very shortly. And then just got a message, and Travis Arens, who has had a lot of success in a very short time with the bumper-to-bumper IRA sprint cars, as well as picking up a win in the high limit sprint cars at 141. He's going to be joining us in a little bit too. So, Rusty, I always like talking with you. I always like seeing you. You always got a smile on your face. Yeah. And even when you have a tough night, like Sunday night at Plymouth or at Angel Park for a little bit, you still have a smile.
Hey, it could always be worse, you know.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Rusty.
Racetrack beats going anywhere else. So,
yeah, look forward to seeing you on Saturday, buddy.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Take care. God bless.
All right.
That was Rusty Egan, who drives the number 50 Autometer powered by Gandrew Performance Wisconsin wingless sprint car. We are going to have another guest joining us, just letting you know that Drew, he said he'd be on in about 5. But we're going to go ahead and bring the Branham clan in here. And I don't know how they're all going to fit.
We're going to let Max be the face of us because I'm the one that knows how to work technology. That's why.
There you go. Well, and I got my cheat sheet now, so I've got this all correct.
All righty. We'll see.
We've got Ron is the dad and the grandpa, Tim is the son and the dad, and Max is the grandson and the son. There will be a quiz. There's absolutely no prize if you get it right.
Yes. But you can change it up in whatever way you want. It's okay.
Well, Rusty was just talking about, when we were talking with him, we were talking about all the young people that we seem to have going in, particularly in the lightning sprints, the 1175 Sports Complex and Eatery IRA lightning sprints, particularly this year. But let's start with the elder statesman. Ron, you are 70-something years young, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, 74 this month.
74 this month. Now, are you going to actually have a birthday party at the racetrack?
No, I don't think so. You don't look forward to birthdays when you're 74. That's not an exciting time. Yeah.
When did you get started in racing, Ron? And why did you get started in racing? I mean, Tim and Max can blame it on you.
Exactly. We started in racing at Gilbert's go-kart track out in Gilbert's, Illinois. And we ran karts for many years. We raced at Dousman, and then we chased the circuit around the Sprint Enduro circuit, anywhere from Daytona to Mid-Ohio and things like that. And then one night at the Wilmot, we always spectated races forever. And I was even at the old track many times. And we were at Wilmot, and the Lightning Sprint, well, at that time they were the mini sprints. It was Randy Sipple and his group.
Right.
And we found it to be incredibly interesting, the speed of the cars. And the more research that you did, it seemed like a good plan in a good way. And then we ended up going to Randy's school, and we did that and we got familiar with it, and then we started renting from Randy, and then we took it on, and we bought our own car, and we raced that for quite a while, and then it kind of just grew from that. And the Lightning Sprint group is, I think one thing that's really interesting about the Lightning Sprints is the drivability of them. I know a lot of the other cars, and I from years of experience through racing and stuff like that, the non-wing cars at whatever level that may be require a huge amount of talent. It's amazing to see these kids in these midgets and these 410 sprints, 604 sprints. It's incredible what they have a talent of doing. It's a sport that's so unrecognized for what the ability of these people are, these kids or the adults or whatever are. And but the advantage of the Lightning Sprints, again, is just the drivability of those cars. They just work so well with the wings, the downforce, the speeds are. I mentioned, look at the times that we turn at the tracks we go to and stuff like that. And once you get them correct, a lot of people go away from it because they get discouraged because of familiarizing themselves with the engine packages, because they have a lot of electronics on them coming out of the bikes and stuff. Mm-hmm. But once you get them correct and dialed in, per se, is the cliche, you'd be surprised at how dependable they are. They're really very, very good form of racing, type of racing. So we enjoyed it, and the kids came along. Max came along. Jessica, she raced with us for a couple of years, and we got Jessica's daughter is now 14, and she talks about racing maybe sometime, and she seems like maybe she would try it sometimes. If that ever happened to where we were I was still racing, it'd be 4 generations at one night. That would be pretty cool. But again,
that's for sure. Tim, what about you now? Obviously you were kind of, Dad kind of dragged you along and said, why don't you try this too? And then you got involved and you've had some success. What about when Max first came up to you and said, I want to race, Dad?
Yeah, I was already racing the cars and some of the karts when Max was little. And when he was born, I was racing the karts, and then we got into the cars and he was little. He used to come to the track with his Go Daddy Go shirt on. And he just loved it. He could not wait to get racing. So we got him a kid kart at when he was 4. And we practiced on my dad's driveway. He's got a circle drive, and he went out there and just learned how to drive it there. And then we went off the Badger when he turned 5, and he was old enough to race. And, it's just kind of been ever since. And as soon as he was old enough to run the car with us, then that gave me quite a break, because I wasn't going late on Saturday and then early on Sunday all day doing the go-karts too. So it was kind of nice, and then we got to actually race together. So it's been fun ever since.
Max, what about you? Sometimes you're out there with grandpa and dad in the same race. Are you conscious of where they are, or are you running your race and just not worrying about where they're at?
Well, to that I say, I bring up the example that I got second place in a feature once where I was trying to chase Nick Petska down the front stretch and stuff, and I had my grandpa Ron in the way, and I'm just trying to move him out of the way because I'm like, oh, come on. But I'm not really conscious of it. It's more just I know that we're all out there, and if one of us goes over, of course, we're going to worry for each other because family. I mean, I remember when I had my first big wreck over in turn 1 and 2. He came over on the hill, my dad, and was just double checking to see like, hey, am I okay and stuff. It was interesting to have my first big wreck in such a unique way, but still, it's more just, I guess racing's been in my blood ever since, and I've just gotten used to the whole fact of when I'm out there, I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, Mike, when you hit a tractor, I got to check on your kid, 'cause that doesn't happen all the time, and you hit that thing hard.
Yeah, well, usually tractors usually will win.
Oh, yeah, it didn't budge.
It's just like when you hit the wall. The wall usually will win.
Yes, it does.
What about how these cars have developed over the years? Now, this is the 35th year, I believe, for the Lightning Sprints, as you mentioned, Ron. Originally they were called the WIMSA, or the Wisconsin-Illinois Mini Sprints. Now they've been referred to as the Lightning Sprints for, I don't know, probably 10 years or so, at least. What changes have you seen taking place over the 35 years? Because I think you've been around for all 35, haven't you, Ron?
Yeah, for sure, and beyond that, for sure. But that's I guess that's one of the downsides of the program and stuff like that. The engines are constantly changing, and it means you update constantly, having to update in that aspect every 3, 4, 5 years. If you look at I happened to be watching the Outlaw race up at Beaver Dam, I think it was, and they had the Legends out there, and I think they had 37 cars or 36 cars or something like that.
Right.
But they have an engine package that is very constant, and it's been that way for many a years. That attracts a lot of people. Right now, you notice that the car counts have been struggling and stuff like that, and we're headed into that cycle. We're right in the middle of that cycle of where the newest technology is more costly than the older stuff, of course. Where if you had a constant program, I think that would be better. But again, I'm just saying that that's one of the reasons, and some of the struggles of this class is the engine changes and stuff like this. As far as the cars, I think all of the cars are relatively the same that they have been for years. We have a couple of ERCs, which was built by Alan Rubenthal down in Kentucky down there, and Bailey's and stuff like that. And yet Tim's car is a XXX midget chassis, and and some of the other cars are hypers. But the thing about it, again, I think the bang for your buck is really good, because I don't know how much you're around karting or anything like that. Of course, up at Badger, I talked to Scott Utek the other night. We sat up in the stands. Scott's a great guy. His whole family's good people. And we were talking about Badger, and he was saying on a weekly basis they'll draw 180 carts, and by far the most popular class out there is going to be, I think they refer to it as the LO206 or something like that. And it's cost efficient. It gives you an opportunity to go racing, and you can do that at a very good price, I guess you would say. But then again, you get into the shifters. Shifter kart motor in a go-kart's over $15,000 now. So yeah, it's let's face it. You always realize there's always a lot more people out there that can afford that, as opposed to people that can afford the high programs. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to cut you guys loose here, because I got somebody that's actually waiting for me to call him, because he's driving as we speak. Travis Arons is going to come on with me shortly, but I always try to give you guys a chance to thank sponsors, and Max, we're going to start off with you, and then if you forget any, then Dad and Grandpa can yell at you.
We don't really have any sponsors besides ourselves and 1175, of course, who sponsors our whole program.
And Bex Eatery up in Racine also sponsors us as a group. Like he says, we're kind of an independent family group. We just kind of just do our own thing. And basically, our sponsor, mine and Max's sponsor, is my mom and his grandma, who is also listening in and on the thing here. She's a big team owner and everything, and definitely yells at us and says, "What happened out there?" when we don't do so well. So I got it right on my car, and I'll tell everybody, my car owner's mom, and he says my car owner's grandma. So.
In my sponsor, I guess you could say my sponsor is Social Security. How's that?
There you go. Well, and that's kind of a neat thing to do. I guess we can let the cat out of the bag a little bit. You mentioned Scott Utek. Well, Trinity is over in Italy right now for school for a few weeks, and she has said it is okay that Dad drives her car. So I believe Dad is going to be in her car on Saturday at Wilmot and Tuesday at Wilmot.
This should be fun.
Yes,
Good people.
I'm understanding. So
yeah, and she's okay with it as long as he doesn't wreck it.
That's right. She's in Italy. There's a time change there, so I don't think she's going to be watching Flow Racing. So
one more thing, Mike. Sure. I just want to express a lot of thanks for you and what you do to promote racing. I mean, it's really a huge help. I mean, everyone's struggling for that entertainment dollar. You've seen things at Wilmot and with the fan base and stuff. It changes over the years, but my gosh, for people like you that go out and promote and push as hard as you do, it is greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate that, guys. That means a lot. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will get to interview. I can't interview all three of you unless you guys, sweep the podium or something.
Hey, we took every heat race last year, and I think it was with the Outlaws.
Yeah.
And we did it in order of oldest to youngest. So we did that. That was pretty cool.
I had the struggle, of course. They both started on the pole, and I started third, and I had to get my way up there, and somehow I got the race win as well. So it was grandfather, dad, and then son all won.
Yep.
There you go. Well, that's great. Well, actually, now Travis Arons is on the phone here, so I'm gonna have to turn you guys loose because I don't want him to get any tickets, while he's driving.
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. God bless. We'll see you Saturday, and I'm gonna bring this up. And Drew, you can tell us if we're having any problems here hearing Travis. Travis, go ahead and let's see how you're sounding.
How's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
I can hear you real good, so hopefully you. Yep, okay, we're good. Is the word I get from Drew. Well, first of all, I mean, you had I would venture to say the night of a lifetime. When you scored the win there at 141 with the high limit, all the high limit guys that were there too. Tell us a little bit about what that run was like at 141 a few weeks ago.
It's pretty. I would say it's pretty surreal. I woke up in the morning, went to work. I worked 5 hours, got to the track, realized, all your high limit guys are parked on one side. I'm like, well, I'm going to park on the back side where a couple of us local guys were. I didn't want to be in that kind of commotion, and it felt good. And we went and picked our number, and we picked like a 2 or 3. So I was super excited. I'm like, hey, that's good, because we always know that 141, this track kind of drops off a decent pace, We rolled out, we qualified. We're the first car to go out, and I knew the track was starting to, slowly slow down over time. So I knew we were in a really good position. And I felt very good both laps qualifying to come in. I go look at my phone, and we're sitting second, so I wasn't too upset. Kind of watching the TV and cleaning the car at the same time, and kind of, looking back and forth. I'm like, guys, we're in a really good position. Like, the track is slowing down way too fast for anyone to even, probably beat us. So went back to cleaning. All of a sudden, I heard the final car get done. I looked at the TV, and here we are, sitting second, for qualifying. I'm like, wow, okay, field draws are very important. So, we were on the luck side of that one. It's funny, we were getting ready for the heat race, and I look at the heat lineup, and I got Rico Abreu, I got Kyle Larson behind me, Brad Sweet, and all of them. I'm like, oh boy, I talk about a stacked heat race, And that kind of, I was like, yeah, just, hey man, they're human. They put their pants on the same way you do. So, I took the green flag and just kind of felt, I kind of didn't get a good start. Brad Sweet got next to me. He started 5th, and I started 4th, and I just stayed on the throttle and wheeled around him. And I thought that was a cool moment right there. I'm like, all right, just kind of just trucking along. And we were steady right behind 3rd place, and we finished 4th. And I was like, wow, we just made the dash with our first time with the high limit. So, we went up for the dash. I think we lost 1 position. We fell back 2, but when we passed Side Lynch at the end, like, we were good. Just the dash was long enough to kind of get get rolling. I tried the bottom, tried the top, and once I kind of figured out where I needed to be, it was just a little late. Feature time came rolling around, and we rolled on the track. I noticed that it really wasn't much for grip up top in 3 and 4, and I saw there was a ton of grip off the bottom, especially off of 4. So I kind of kept it in the back of my mind, and just kind of pacing around once we got fired off, and I was kind of looking at the track. I'm like, all right, well, 1 and 2 we could probably go anywhere. 3 and 4 we'll have to be patient and roll the bottom, or keep the car straight up in 3 and 4 if we would run the high side. So we got rolling in the feature and just kind of stayed. I started on the bottom, so I just kind of stayed there. Everyone was kind of slicing and dicing, and next thing you know, I picked off a car, and then we picked off another car. I'm like, wow, if I'm super smooth and steady, I'm like, we're gonna go forward. Next thing you know, we're passing Justin Peck, and I just see Baylog in front of us. I'm like, holy moly, we start catching him, and then the caution comes out. I'm like, wow, we actually have a really, really good car, and I could have chose the high line, decided to stay on the bottom, and kind of stay behind Baylog and don't let him know where I was running, And we could have probably went on the high side for on that restart, and we probably would have been A-okay too, because I had a car that could go anywhere we needed to. It's kind of on that restart, I got such a good jump, and next thing you know, we passed Baylog, and it just, I knew I knew I was super good in turn 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, I didn't feel like I was as good as I could have been, but I kind of just told myself, once I took the lead and every caution, I just kind of told myself, just, hey, hit your marks, stay smooth, and if they're faster, they're going to go around, I'll go around you, and then if that's the case, well, then we got to switch lines. During every caution, I can adjust my regular shock just a little bit on the compression side, with the high limit, you can run in cockpit shock adjuster on one of your shocks. So I kind of decided to try the right rear that night just for, see what we could do. And every caution, so myself smooth. I thought I heard someone behind me every lap, I swear, especially those last couple laps. I was like, man, but then all the way across the finish line, and I'm just like, just wheeling around. I'm like, did we just really win 26,000,
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of, that was probably one of my most emotional wins. Like, it just hit you right in the feels. Like, you just, all the hard work, all the time that you stick into the operation just paid off on a national scene, So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's, you're the hometown guy. You're from Sheboygan Falls, and you score a win like that. That was just fantastic. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I was watching it from home, on television or on Dirt Vision. Or actually, no, they're not on Dirt Vision. It's on Flow. I got to get my network straight here. But that was really, really cool. Now, this coming weekend, of course, you're last year's Rookie of the Year with the IRA. Now, this coming weekend, you've got a doubleheader. Might be why you're speaking to us from as you're driving. But you're going to Bloomington, Indiana tomorrow, and then to Butler, Michigan. Have you ever been to either of those tracks, and your thoughts going into this weekend?
No, actually, never been to either. Like last year, we were going to make the Indiana swing, but we were still waiting on my motor to come back. So I've never been to either of them. Actually, just got done with work and headed to the shop, and I got to finish up a little more maintenance yet. And get myself ready, and we're going to leave bright and early tomorrow morning. So I'm looking forward to it. 2 new tracks, it's. You got to get going right away and figure out the tracks. I've watched a little video on both of them, so I kind of got an idea of what to expect from both of them.
We were talking earlier with Rusty Egan, talking about that Steve likes to refer to all of the IRA divisions, the 410s, the wingless, and the Lightnings, as kind of blue-collar racers. There's been a few, quote, full-time racers that have run with the IRA over the years, and they do come in from time to time. But for the most part, you guys, like you just said, you got a day job, and you got to do your day job, and then you work on the race car after your day job's over, and go on from there. Do you see that as a big challenge when you are going up against the high limit guys, or because you had been at 141 before? Baylog had been there, but some of the other guys, I don't know how much they had been at 141 before. So does that end up giving you a little bit of an advantage?
Yeah, I would definitely say, well, we had the most laps at 141 because I started racing there once it went dirt, actually. In the 4-cylinder, I raced there every single year a couple times. I was running Plymouth Weekly with my 4-cylinder, so I was always, I always turned laps every single year at 141. As far as I can remember, maybe like 2020 or 2019 was only 3 years that I never turned a lap there in any kind of car. So kind of going into 141, I knew how, if you're going to roll a bomb, you got to be, you got to slow the car down so much, which is hard for a Ford, like especially a sprint car, because we're always, mostly wide open, half throttle, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to rip the wall down, but I would say definitely having the most laps there out of anyone ever definitely helped me with that win. When it comes to like blue collar, like I said, that morning I got up at 6:30. I went to work and I worked 5.5 hours, and I got in the semi, got the car in the trailer and went to the track. So I would definitely say we're at a slight disadvantage, as we don't get to race as often as them, and we don't have that. Like, I don't have as much help as like crew help, or I don't even have a crew chief. I am my crew chief, So it'd be cool, like those guys have paid crew chiefs, and that is their job. So to be able to do what we did against guys who do it for a living, that's something special, I would say.
That's for sure. And I understand you got a very special trophy.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever played guitar before. I can't play an instrument, but this winter I may have to try to figure out how to play play guitar, I think that's probably, like you get trophies throughout the years at different tracks, or, when I was weekly racing, get just a little trophy. And it's always, I gave a lot of my trophies away to sponsors or little kids, especially in my 4-cylinder sport mod days. And you kind of keep the special ones. And this one's definitely went on the wall in the living room as a pretty cool piece,
Folks, you want to thank not only for getting you to that victory with high limit at 141, but also to your rookie of the year last year with the IRA, and just help get you to the races each and every week.
Yeah, I got a bunch of people that's helped me throughout the years. I got to give a big thanks to Mark Jens. He's with Whipcop Family Funeral Homes. He's the one that got me into the sprint car, actually, back in 2017. I wasn't racing, actually. And he's like, hey, we got the 360 just sitting there. He goes, you get a motor and a seat and you can go drive it. So that's kind of how the sprint car kind of came into my playbook. I've always wanted to drive open wheel. I've always wanted to do sprint cars growing up at Plymouth. Wing super modifieds were my thing. I loved them. Whenever the IRA was at Plymouth, I would always hit every show up. I was like, one day I wanted to do it. So, to get that chance and to get where I am today, definitely very thankful for him. But I got a ton of sponsors. I got Professional Plating Incorporated, Service One Transportation, Don and Lynn Keel, Hoosberg Concrete, Whipcop Family Funeral Homes, Pallet Works, Pfeffer Trucking, Carbless, Lake Auto Glass, Ross Auto Restoration, Hairfellers Barbershop, Fastenal of Plymouth, Jensen Sales and Service, Amy Brusher Realty, Deering's Tax Service, Sonantec Plumbing, Aaron's Auto Detailing, and I got to give a thanks to Berryman Racing Shocks, Baleen Racing Equipment, Maxim Chassis, and my whole crew. I kind of got a mix of crew guys. I got some guys who are almost weekly, got some guys who are weekly, got some guys who only show up to the track. So I got to thank all the guys that give a couple minutes or a couple hours to help me do what I do.
Well, there's currently, and the time's running out to vote. And if you haven't voted yet, Travis, I'm going to ask that you try to do that. The Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame class, the nominations were announced a few weeks ago. The voting ends, I believe, this coming weekend. Joe Buke, Brad Dahmer, Jerry Kindler, Harry Neitzel, Kenny Richards, Donnie Scheffler, Jim Trado, Andy Wendt, Jim Zadroik, and Ted Dolan are on the ballot. Only 5 make it. I'm kind of lobbying a little bit for the Neitzel family, for Harry Neitzel to get elected. So if Travis, if you haven't, or anybody listening or tuned in has not yet voted, go to the Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame. There's a link there. You click on it. You fill out a very short form requesting a ballot. They will send you a ballot. You fill it out online, send it back, and it's that simple. But the deadline's coming up pretty quick. And
I got actually a really quick funny story about Harry Neitzel. This is back in the 4-cylinder days. When he was always with the R&H trailer at the track. I went up to him because I didn't have any tear-offs. I forgot to get some. And I'm like, hey, you got tear-offs? He's just like, well, what do you got? I'm like, oh, this is my helmet. He goes, oh, what you racing? I'm like, 4-cylinder. He's like, you need tear-offs for them? I'm like, you do actually from time to time, especially if the track was a little bit heavy. You would use like maybe 1, maybe 2 a night, and that was it. I thought that was I told Scotty that. He just kind of laughed. He's like, that'd be my dad right there. And it was just that was my Harry Neitzel moment. The one time I met him, that was I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Well, that's for sure. Well, and that's the thing about Harry. I mean, everybody's got a Harry Neitzel story, I think. And like you say, even if you just met him once, he made a definite impression on you. So we definitely want to get him into the Hall of Fame. So again, folks, if you haven't voted yet, Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame website or Facebook page. I think you can get to it either way, and then request the ballot. They'll send it to you by email, and you fill it out, and it's that simple. So please do that. Your plans this weekend, I got to ask you this because it does happen from time to time. What if Mother Nature throws you a curveball and you end up with a night off in Bloomington, Indiana? What does a race car driver from Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin end up doing in Bloomington, Indiana, or in Butler, Michigan, if you end up not racing?
I would try to find the coolest, like, just off the wall kind of restaurant, you know. That'd be my thing. Like, find a place with like the best wings or like the best taco joint. That's what I would do. You know, I'll probably be driving a race, so I can't really have any alcohol or like a bar or anything like that. But I would totally be down for like some wings or, like I said, the best taco joint in town.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We know you've got work to do on the race car to get it ready to go, and so you can get some sleep tonight. And again, congratulations on the big win at 141. You know, that's you know, a lot of people's bucket list wins, and you already got it. So
yeah, mark that off the bucket list. The next one will be like an outlaw win. So yeah, definitely cool to, you know, just your average Joe going out there and, you know, represent the IRA in Wisconsin, and your average Joe out there just living a dream, you know. Yeah,
and we're going to see you down at Wilmot, I would presume, for the Larry Hillerud Classic for that 2-day show coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, would be correct. We'll be down there.
All right, sounds great. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you, and we'll be watching on My Race Pass and that this weekend to see how you do over there in Indiana and Michigan. Thanks a lot, Travis, for taking the time.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Yep, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Again, that was Travis Arens, who won a huge race with the high limit racers at 141 Speedway just a few weeks ago. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, Great Lakes Dragaway, out of sight drags going on tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Next week, you got Wilmot Raceway on Tuesday night. You won't want to miss that. Saturday night, Wilmot Raceway also. And we're going to be back with a show next Thursday to tell you more about some of the events that are going on for the 4th of July weekend. So until we see you the next time, this is Mike Babicz wishing you a pleasant evening, the best of tomorrows. Remember, kids, just say no to drugs. Thanks. Good night. God bless. And let's go racing, everybody.
Yeah.